Gigi variety reading FoodWISE and a new section. Still in part one, which is our shared world of food and farming. And this section is We Need Sustainable Fish. So I'll just read a few paragraphs and mention an article tonight. The situation of fish and fishing underscores even more the idea of connections. Everything is linked together and emphasizes the lesson that simple answers are hard to find for why foods aren't whole. A single article, Historical Overfishing and the Recent Collapse of Coastal Ecosystems, used while I was teaching at Northwest Indian College, alerted me to problems with world fisheries. Crashes in many fish populations became obvious when one looked at historic numbers. Most striking to me was that numbers of large consumer species of fish were historically fantastically large. And I quote from the article, there were a lot of them. And here's the clincher. Particularly concerning is that decades to centuries passed from the time when overfishing occurred to when the resultant crash in numbers could be seen. The article is wonderful storytelling and invokes many literary as well as scientific sources to uncover the evidence for such large historic numbers. It is a terrific example of interdisciplinary research, getting information from all kinds of places to find one thing. Of course, it is not without considerable controversy. The article has been cited by close to 6,000 supporters and critics, and in my academic world, that is a lot. So the article tonight from The Atlantic talks about tourism in Europe. This summer tourism is the lungs of Europe. The economic lungs, I guess, is the metaphor that the author uses. And also the author raises a very interesting point about the decision to be in public places is not only a public one. Of course, we have the constraints of the public decision, and rightfully so, but it's a personal one too. So just because Europe is open, so to speak, doesn't mean that they're going to be able to anticipate hordes of tourists. And so the article is interesting in that it goes through all sorts of options for identifying places in Europe that might be okay to travel to or within, assuming there's airlines and other kinds of transportation available. I'll say that my global learning program courses were canceled for Switzerland and Italy, and it was a good decision. And I'm now teaching those courses online, remotely, with European providers. So there's always options.